Hey, 大家好, it's Imu. Today I'm gonna read, write, and explain two characters' names from a newly released film, Shang-Chi. Not sure if you've heard about this or you've seen it. I saw it yesterday in the cinema, of course with the mask on. Actually, it's the first time I've go to a cinema after the pandemic. And I would say the film exceeds my expectation. If you go check out IMDb or Rotten Tomato, the ratings are pretty high, and I'm quite surprised by it because half of the dialogue is in Chinese. Of course with subtitles, but still I thought it would hinder people's understanding, but it turned out not. A lot of comments saying, oh, actually it gave them a sense of mystery, and also the vibe is very different from other superhero movie. And a lot of people say they got to see a lot of the Chinese culture and understand them more. And also the characters is not superficial. There's complexities in the main character. Like everyone have a part of their dark side or something. So I like it. And if you are a Chinese learner, you want to go have a peek of the Chinese culture or practice your Chinese listening even, I highly recommend you go check it out. It's definitely worth the time and money. Yeah, before we jump to writing and explaining the two main characters' name, Shang-Chi, the superhero, and his father, Wen-Wu. I want to diverge a bit because my friend Matthew recently opened a podcast. Matthew is a language lover. He is from France and he's been to China before. He stayed there for several years at Chengdu, which is the place where the panda comes from. So he knows a lot about China, and surprisingly, he's also really good at speaking and writing Chinese. So recently he started this podcast. I put the link below where he talked about the cultural difference between France and China and the food there. For my channel, it's mostly about writing, but if you want to listen more Chinese, please go check out his channel. The movie's name and also the superhero's name is Shang-Chi. Let's first write this one. Shang-Chi. This QI is the pinyin way of writing the pronunciation. That's how Chinese kids learn the pronunciation. But in English, actually in the film, they're written as CHI. Chi, because people don't know how to pronounce QI if they've never learned pinyin or learned Chinese before. So the Chinese pronunciation is Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. What does this even mean? There's a word which people use a lot traditionally. 上气之士. What does this mean? 士 means people. And shang is actually a verb, which means value or advocate or uphold. 气 is a noun. It can stand for 气节 or 义气. So there's not a direct translation, but in general you can think of it as integrity or loyalty. So 气 means those great spirit or values. 上气之士 means people who advocate for integrity or loyalty. So now if you understand this phrase, 上气 is very clear. That means this superhero stands for the people who advocate for or upholding or always chasing for those great values. So now you see this name has a lot of meaning behind it. What about the villain, the bad guy, his father? His father's name is even more interesting. It's called Wen-Wu. Wen-Wu. On the first side, this is just a wow name, like a really cool name. Let me first extend it. Wen-Wu. 双全 双全 is an idiom that people still use a lot nowadays. What does that mean? Wen means literature. Wu means kung fu or martial. like martial virtues. 双 means double. 全 means have. This is saying you have double here means, or maybe it's better to say both. You have both the civil and martial. So this is saying this person has both the civil and martial virtues. In other words, it means this person is both great at writing essays, let's say, or like he or she has read a lot of books, is really knowledgeable and can write really great articles. On the other hand, he or she is also great at martial art, good at fighting, like he's a warrior. So this idiom, 文武双全, is a really great compliment. Maybe if your friend has really great grades, but also is really good at sports, you can say, wow, you are 文武双全. Now you can see that dad's name is actually Wen-Wu. So I think it's also a really good name. That means this dad is not only very good at fighting, like of course the evil guy, he's great at martial arts, he fights a lot, but also he has a lot of knowledge. Or in other sense, he's both intellectually and physically strong. Okay, that's for today. Hope you like it and see you guys next time.